So since when we cross multiplied, we got 24 equals 24. Their cross products were equal, so the two ratios form a proportion. So let's stop to make sure there are no questions and that everything is written down. Now I want you to try a problem on your own. So we're going to stop the video so that you can try this problem. And then once everybody has completed the problem, we'll play the video so that you can check your work as I did. So check your work with mine, but first I need you to try on your own. And if you need a refresher, make sure you turn the page back over and you can follow the 3 methods that we did together in the previous slide. So first we have the ratio 7 over 15. Remember, the fractions are ratios here. 17 over 15 does not simplify. It's already in its simplified form, so we leave it as is. But 3 over 9 does simplify to 1 over 3. So if there's any questions how to simplify this fraction, please raise your hand now and we can pause the video. So since the ratio 17 over 15 is not equal to 1 over 3, this equal to sign here with that slash through it, that means does not equal to. So the ratios are not equal, so the ratios do not form a proportion. So let's pause the video to double check that. So make sure you've written down that the ratios do not form a proportion since the ratios are not equal. Next, we'll check the second method to see if they have the same decimal conversions. So 17 over 15 as a fraction is 1.13 repeated. Remember to put that line or that hat above that 3. And 3 over 9 as a decimal is 0.3 repeated. And again, remember to put that line or that hat above. So since these decimals are not equal, that means the ratios do not form a proportion. So let's make sure everybody has this written down, that the ratios do not form a proportion because the ratio's decimals are not equivalent. So the third method is to have equal cross products. So go ahead and try that now, and then we'll check it with my work. So we cross multiplied 17 and 9. And 17 times 9 is 153. And we also cross multiplied 15 and 3. So 15 times 3 gave you 45. Remember, we're setting the cross products equal to each other. But these numbers are not equal, so we need to show that by putting that slash bar through it. 153 is not equal to 45. And then we need to make sure we write our conclusion. Again, make sure you check your work, and if there's any questions, we need to stop the video to raise our hands. And the ratios do not form a proportion because their cross products are not equal. Now we're going to use cross multiplication so that we can find a value. Notice how there's a question mark right here. We don't know what this value is on that ratio to see if the missing piece does form a proportion. So one way is to do it mentally. We need to ask ourselves, 7 times what number is going to give you 28? So let's stop the video so we can all figure out what number, when we multiply it by 7, will give us 28. Well, the answer is 4. So if 7 times 4 gives us 28, now we also have to use this 4 and multiply it by 20 to find this question mark. So 20 times 4 gives you 80. So now we still have our 28, which we had up here, and our question mark is now going to be replaced with 80. Thus we have 7 over 20 is equal to 28 over 80. And now that's just one way to do it mentally. But if there's other type of fractions involved or bigger numbers, it might not be easy to use mental. Might not be able to do it mentally. So instead we're going to use method number 2, which is using those cross products, and now we're going to be dividing so that we can find what D is. So again, I'm going to model it for us. So first, we want to rewrite this improper, or this mixed fraction here. We want to rewrite it as an improper fraction. So we still have d over, and now 6 1/3. Think about how we learned to rewrite that as an improper fraction. So we have 6 times 3 gives you 18, and we got to add 1 to it. So we've got 19 over 3, and we're just rewriting it. So we still have our 2.7 over 14. And maybe we want to extend that fraction bar so we can differentiate. We've got our numerator is d, and our denominator is 19 over 3. So let's pause the video to make sure we don't have any questions so far. So our next step is to cross multiply. We've got d times 14, which is just 14d. We're just putting those together. And remember, we got to set it equal to the cross product of 19 over 3 times 2.7. And you can use your calculator to go ahead and multiply those two together. When you do that, you get 17.1. So make sure we stop the video to see if anybody has any questions about how to multiply 19 over 3 times 2.7 on your calculator. So this is the part where it might get a little tricky. Now we need to divide. We need to get d all by itself. We need to isolate it. We need to get rid of this 14 here. So to do that, we're going to divide both sides by 14. So now we have our 14 cancels. It's going away. So let's stop to make sure we don't have any questions so far.